For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. I'm calling this one The Sick Show. I don't know if that's going to be the actual name, but that's what I'm calling it. And this is, I know, you're like, I'm sick. Why is that a big deal? When people get sick, I have not been sick. This is absolutely true. I have not been sick in probably 7 or 8 years. Seriously, I have not been sick for 7 or 8 years. Even like during the pandemic, neither my husband nor I we were never hit with the corona. We have 2 very large houses, so we were able to, escape the world and live just fine in our big homes. And we're both very healthy people. He's a fitness model, and I don't have any really bad I drink, but we just keep very healthy lifestyles. And so for me to get sick, even our team this week, our broadcast team in Canada, was just like, well, we can dump into one of our pre-recorded shows. We have contingency plans. This is the thing. When I've been in radio for as long as I have been, 20 years, we have pre-taped content and ready to go stuff that in the event that I lose my voice, or I'm laid up, or I'm hospitalized, or I'm fucking dead, the show must go on. We've got something that we can drop in. That's something I've made that joke years ago. I could be dead for 6 months. You would never know because we still have new content ready to go. So why is this a big deal, right? People get sick all the time, whatever. Well, I'm not being a suck or a baby about this. I'm just saying it totally throws you off if it hasn't happened to you for a while. But for me, I take it in stride because I end up seeing the humor in it. So this isn't a woe is me, I'm sick, feel sorry for me, because I'm the exact opposite of that. I don't want to be taken care of. I want to be left alone. I have no interest in replying to texts all day of people checking in on me and how I'm doing. Just leave me alone. So why I said that I wanted to do the show this week, we were actually going to do this yesterday. It's Tuesday afternoon for us right now. We were going to do this on Monday when I was even sicker. I'm kind of rebounding right now, so this is me feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday. But I'm going to tell you the story of how I got sick and why, because I know exactly what happened. I'm able to pinpoint it. But this is... Here we go, right? Now the coughing starts. Anyway, let's get into it after this on the Scribble, moments away from now.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
JB here, back on the Scribble. All right, so my husband and I got back to Canada on Friday night. Maybe this was the issue. This was the problem. We spent so much time in West Hollywood that, I come back to Canada and I instantly get sick. So we're having a cold stretch here. And there's a house that's three doors down that has a wood burning fireplace still. We live in a very nice area where it's, newer homes, and generally you have either like a gas fireplace or something that's not, wood burning, but this house still does, whatever. And they have for years. This is nothing new. And the novelty actually at the very beginning was, it was kind of cool to be in the, out walking the dogs in the winter, and then you're just kind of like, oh, that's a nice, kind of a fireplace smell. Well, I think what happened was, because we weren't here, so I don't know what the weather was like, but I believe the wind was blowing in the direction of our house. And so the upstairs of our house, the bedroom, is closest to that side of where the neighbor's house is, if this makes sense. So if they're having a fire and the wind is blowing in our direction, the smoke is basically coming to our bedroom wall. That's the outside wall that's facing them. And so when we came in Friday night, our entire house does not smell like the fire or a fireplace. It wasn't burnt down. I'm saying a fireplace. So, we come in and we go up to the bedroom, and again, at first it was kind of a nice smell, and then I'm just like, oh, well, that means like our blankets and everything are going to smell. I'm going to smell like that in the morning. We sent the dogs out, and they were in the backyard for however long. They come in smelling like the fire. And so, that night I was just kind of like, I kind of feel like there's an issue with my throat. I just don't feel, it's kind of scratchy. It's kind of, whatever. So we go to bed, and then Saturday morning or afternoon, I wake up and I just kind of felt very warm, and then cold, and then warm, and then cold. And my body was kind of achy. And so I reached out to a spa that I go to, and I'm notorious. I'm that customer that's like, do you have a massage appointment today? Like in the next, half hour? I'm that customer. And so they said 4 o'clock, and I said, all right, that's great. This was at about maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock. And so I kind of thought, okay, this is great. So I can go kind of get, just ease my body. Between that, call 1:30 and 4 o'clock, my body was just getting more and more sore. So then I have the appointment at 4 o'clock, and I'm laying there, and it wasn't helpful at all. Like there was just nothing that was, you could either have two responses from a massage, either ouch, this hurts because it's, it's a deep tissue or, whatever massage, or, oh, this feels good because it's relaxing, right? Well, this was neither of them. It was just kind of like, I'm laying here and just sort of going through the motions because I feel like I'm getting sick. So my body is having neither a good or a bad reaction to this. I'm just, going through this. So there's a fast food place that's not too far from the spa. And I thought, okay, well, you know what? I will get myself this grilled chicken burger that I just love from there, and that'll make me feel better. So I go there after. I walk there because it's not even 5 minutes away. And the bacon was absolutely raw. They didn't even cook the bacon properly, so that kind of pissed me off a little bit. But I have the meal, and I thought, okay, well, maybe I just needed some food. Maybe I just needed something in my system. Because, see, when we travel, I mean, yes, we were just flying from one house to the other, but I think back to Friday when we were traveling, and it's like, well, that's true. I didn't really eat before getting on the plane because, I don't know, right? I don't want to go on a plane with a full stomach, and then so then when we get home, well, not really hungry because, I had like little snacky, nibbly things on the plane, whatever. So did I have an actual meal on Friday? No, I didn't. Okay, so maybe that's what it was, right? My body is going and saying, hey, you didn't really eat or drink properly yesterday, so, well, no. So I come home. Now it's about 7:30 or so, and husband says, how are you? Does it feel better now? Whatever. And I said, no, actually, I don't. I said, I'm very warm now. So we're sitting on the couch, watching TV. The dogs are, cuddled up, and we're in our usual positions. And I had to push the dogs off me because I was just sweating buckets. I was just soaking wet. Now, the dogs were kind of getting in my face, which I didn't quite get it. Now, like I said at the top of the show, I haven't been sick in probably 7 or 8 years. So our dogs are only 4 years old. And then I realized, I'm like, they have never seen me sick. So, and I've always heard that dogs can tell, right, if there's something wrong with us or whatever. So they were having this, like, they're getting right up in my face. They're right there. They're, they're climbing on me. They're right on top of me, which is fine because, but it's fucking annoying, right? If you're sick and you're sweaty or whatever. So then I find myself getting impatient, which is, basically saying to the dogs, like, get off me. And, they don't get it. They don't know. So, I've got my husband kind of running interference, which is not helping for the dogs because the more he's doing that, the more they're resisting and then trying to get near me, right? So they're now sensing, okay, wait a second, something's not right with mom here, and dad's getting in the way of us trying to comfort mom. They are not going to cooperate with him. They're not going to listen to what he says. They're not going to behave for him. I'm the priority. They're going to, which is wonderful. But in the moment, you're ready to just say to them, like, get the fuck away from me, which I probably did say at one point. So Saturday night, it was an early night, whatever, and I ended up just sleeping on the couch. Husband goes upstairs to bed by himself because, again, you also want to separate yourselves. Like, if I'm coming down with the flu or whatever, I don't want to be super close with him because then I'm going to get him sick and then we're both going to be laid up or whatever it is. And, so he goes upstairs to sleep by himself. Of course, the dogs stay with me. I'm on the couch. We have a very comfy couch as well. So, I don't know how many nights I have fallen asleep on that couch and just stayed there and just crashed the entire night. Like, we have a really good couch. So I'm on the couch, and again, I'm going through that hot cold thing where I'm just sweating. And then I wake up and it's, 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever it is, and then I'm freezing. So now I'm wrapping myself up in the blankets. And then I fall asleep, wake up again, sweating. And, I've got 2 dogs on me on the couch, right? We have our positioning where, yes, the 3 of us can be on this little couch and we each have our spot. And, I've got to kind of like kick them off without really saying anything. Just like pretend like I'm moving in my sleep and then, kick them off the couch. And then, of course, when I wake up, they're back on anyway. So that takes me to Sunday. And Sunday was just an absolute useless day. It was in and out of sleep. I don't know how many times I ended up just falling asleep. And, at that point, for me anyway, I have no interest in putting on a TV show, checking my phone. And I'm not the type of person who I want to be checked on a million times. My mom used to do that back in the day when I lived with my parents, which, I haven't lived with them for 18 years. But if I was at home in my own house and, I had a cough or whatever, because I found that I got sick a lot when I worked in other offices. We have a very good team. We've all worked together for 20 years, that we respect each other, that if you're sick, you're staying home. So we don't spread illnesses, viruses around each other as a team. So our office is not like that. It's not like, oh, Bonnie's coughing and is sick today. Well, Tim's going to get it. Tim's going to give it to Suzanne. Suzanne's going to give it to me. I'm going to give it to Lisa. We don't have an office like that, so we're very lucky. But so when I worked in other places, I was constantly sick. There was one place that I worked at where I remember actually saying to somebody, I couldn't count to 10 without hearing somebody coughing. So it was a big open sort of a warehouse kind of, it was a warehouse that they'd transformed into an office. And I just remember saying, like, I feel like I'm in a fucking hospital ward. Like, it just was so gross. And I would sit there and go, listen, let's try to count to 10. You will not be able to count to 10 without hearing somebody's cough echoing, through this building. And you just feel so like, I just know I'm going to be sick. None of that. So when I would get sick, though, my mom would just constantly, how's the patient? Which, again, I realize that's a mom, expressing concern and wanting to check in on you. I'm the exact opposite of that, even if it's from my own husband. Now, again, I've been sick maybe 1 time since we've been together. Just leave me alone. You don't need to wine and dine me, cater to me, bring me a bowl of soup. I am not that type of person. People think that I would be. I'm absolutely not. Can you get me another juice, honey? No. Leave me alone. If I want it, I'll get it. But generally, I find that I don't want anything. So Sunday is a day that's in and out of sleep. Really nothing happening. Now, the interesting thing is, because neither of us falls ill, we don't have any kind of pain reliever. So that would be your, autism causing Tylenol, any sort of fever medication. We don't have anything. So he asks me on Monday morning, do you want me to, go to the store and I can get orange juice or, some pills, some kind of, medication? And I said, let's just have it delivered. So we open up one of the delivery apps and just do, ginger ale, orange juice, some pills. I think we ended up getting, we got like cookies and just different, sort of. And then that was delivered. And then at night, Dairy Queen had buy one, get one free chicken finger meal. And I said to him, I haven't had actual food since Saturday, since I had that chicken burger at the restaurant. I had a bowl of soup on Sunday. And then Monday, I kind of just drank ginger ale and orange juice. So we ordered chicken finger meals at about 9 o'clock. And there was something about that just made me want to throw up. So it's this weird moment where your body is telling you you're hungry, but then you're actually putting food in it. And now your body's going, actually, you know what? No. So come Tuesday morning. Oh, and so Monday night to Tuesday was again another, I'm sleeping on the couch still. Hot, cold. I'd had my fever pills, so that kind of made it a little bit better. But wake up Tuesday at about noon, and I said to you, it's Tuesday afternoon, so it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now. So wake up at 12, and the funny thing is that we go to the fridge, and there are so many like half-consumed things. And so there's a half bottle of ginger ale, there's a half glass of orange juice, there's a half box of there we go, folks. And we're going to leave all this in. We're not even editing it out. So our fridge looks just like I don't know. I'm just kind of like, what? So why didn't I finish that glass of orange juice? But then I just go and put the glass in the fridge, and then I go and open a bottle of ginger ale, and I don't finish that, so I just put that in the fridge. I ordered, I think it was 4 chicken fingers that you get with this. I didn't even have the chicken fingers, so that just goes in the fridge, and it's all this like half-eaten, half-consumed food in the fridge, and I don't know. I'm just like, wow. Because you're in this zone, like I just don't care. I'm in this bubble. And during that time, so again, we're going from, Friday night to now Tuesday afternoon, I haven't paid attention to what's happening in the outside world. I haven't cared. Not that I really care much about, even social media anyway, but I'm just kind of like, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not, our staff was alerted because again, we do this, the radio thing or whatever. So if all of a sudden I'm sick, everybody kind of has to find out about it. And they know just to kind of leave me alone, just let me ride it out. They'll communicate with my husband. He'll just be like, yeah, no, whatever. He's fine. He's not doing anything. But the texts from people, I think when they realize that I'm not responding to them, I don't get that whole, hello, is everything okay? They're just like, okay, well, that's just how he is. He doesn't want to be checked on. But the funny thing, though, too, is that there's this one thing that I revert to when I get sick is, I'm looking at it right now, is that I have this Mickey Mouse glass that's got kind of like the bendy straw. And we had this as kids at home at my parents' house. And this was the glass that you got to use when you were sick. And so there would be watered down ginger ale in this like Mickey kind of glass. We had one that was an ice cream. It was an ice cream cone kind of a shaped glass, or we had Mickey. And so just for shits and giggles, for comfort's sake, I have one. I ended up going into the cupboard and filling my ginger ale, or filling that with my ginger ale. And so that's where I'm looking at it now going, here I am, this 43-year-old man using a little Mickey Mouse. It's not a sippy. Well, I guess it is sort of a sippy cup in a way. And so that's how I'm getting through it. But no, I don't want anybody, I don't want people checking in on me. It's just like, leave me the fuck alone. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. I love baths. I'm a big bath person, but I know that I'm going to go into the bath. It's going to feel really nice, the hot water in my body, and maybe it's a good thing to do when you're sick. But I'm dreading the getting out and that freezing, frigid, cold, right? Even though the bathroom is going to be warm or, whatever it is, so I could spend a good 4 hours in the bathtub, but I know that coming out of there, that cold is going to hit my body and just make me feel like garbage. Yeah, it's really weird. So again, I know that me describing being sick, a lot of people are going to listen to this going, who cares? I've been sick 3 times this year. Who the fuck cares? No, it's not that. I'm also telling you this for entertainment and to have a laugh at my expense, because and again, I'm not a woe is me person. I am not the, oh my God, I'm dying. Oh my God, being dramatic. I was like that as a kid, and my brothers made fun of me, and I learned very quickly not to do that. So I'm going to tell you about that coming up on the Scribble right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
JB here on The Scribble. Well, the big question is, do you like being pampered and catered to when you're sick? And as I was just describing the last segment, I am not one of those people. Now, when I was a kid, I would play it up, right? And I think you do that as a kid anyway. You want the attention. You want to get the day off school. For me, I never liked getting the day off school, because that just meant that I've got homework or I've got to catch up. So really, is that worth it? When you're old enough and you're able to stay home, but for us, I would have to go, to my uncles and my grandmas or something, and very quickly they'd figure out that you weren't really sick, right? So as an adult, I just leave me alone. Don't check up on me. Don't. But as a kid, I would wrap myself in my blanket and just walk very slowly, like Mr. Burns, from The Simpsons. I would just, and my brothers one time, one of them ended up saying something like, being sick doesn't make you walk, like it doesn't make you slow. It doesn't, make you walk slower. It doesn't slow you down. It doesn't really do that. And it was funny because I guess I didn't realize that I was doing it, or the way it kind of just looked to other people. But certainly, here I am, like, bundled up and I'm over dramatic, however old, let's say I'm 10 years old at the time. And I just kind of thought, okay, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. Yeah, that's kind of embarrassing. You think that it's just like, oh, and then you realize, now you just look stupid. But yeah, no, but fast forward 30 some years when I'm sick just this weekend, that I actually legitimately was walking that slowly because I felt so dizzy, like I was going to fall over. So again, do you like being catered to? Do you want to be left alone, or do you want somebody, waiting on you hand and foot? When I first got together with my husband, we actually, I don't remember. I'm trying to think of why why I was sick. That's such a weird question, right? Well, I got a cold. I had the flu. I remember that we were in the house. Were we in Canada or were we in Los Angeles? I don't even remember. But I do remember we were on the couch. He's sitting there. I'm laying on the couch and my head is kind of on his lap and, we're watching TV or whatever it was. And all of a sudden, did I burp or what did I do? I didn't throw up. But I guess I was my face, whether it was my nose or something, or it was just drool or something, was coming out of my face, out of my head, and was running down his leg. So then I had fallen asleep. And when I woke up, and I realized, I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, there's coming out of my mouth or my nose, whatever. It's dripping down his leg. And so when I wake up and I say that to him, and he's like, well, whatever. Maybe that was my signal that I knew that this was true love. When you can basically puke or snot down your partner's leg and they'll just sit in it for an hour and not even, try to, wipe your sleeve or whatever. I kind of thought, oh, that's my husband. Now, maybe he could have, woken me up or, tried to but he was just like, whatever, I'll lay in the mucus. I'll lay in the snot. I don't really care. Isn't that a good man, folks? Isn't that a good man? Yeah, he's a good guy. But I don't know. It's just weird to expect just because, you're under the weather that all of a sudden, like, why now would my husband be catering to me? I can still walk around. So I'm sick. What's the big deal? And I've never expected somebody to wait on me hand and foot. I don't want to be waited. I want to be left alone. Don't ask me every 10 minutes how I'm doing. Just let me ride it out. And same thing, like I said, I'm sleeping on the couch. He's sleeping upstairs in the bedroom. He's doing his thing. I'm doing mine. I basically have custody of the dogs because they're, right on me, and he's fine with that. They're getting a little bit annoying after a while, but I'll hand them all over to him. But you're like the whole routine of taking them out and walking them, right? Or just doing it. They know that something is up and they don't even want to go walking with him. They're like, we'll just wait it on the couch. We'll ride it out here. So again, you appreciate that loyalty from your pets, but it's so fucking annoying because they're just in your face. They know something's up. They're basically telling you, we're here for you. We got you. And you're wanting to just say, like, just leave me alone. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So that's how I got sick. It's the smoke from the fireplace 3 doors down that, kind of filled our bedroom. And then the dogs outside, they came in, then they were on our bed. And that night it just hit me and knocked me out. Now, I'm interested to know how long, when you get sick, how long does it stay with you? So for me, when I would get sick, it would come in waves. So at first it would be the scratchy throat. I don't remember the order, but this is an example. So one day would be the scratchy throat. Stuffed up would be the next day. Coughing would be the next day. Sneezing would be the next day. The heat and the chills would be the next day. So I wouldn't have all the symptoms all at the same time. And I kind of wonder if that's actually the better way. Just have my body go through it all at once. Just hit me with it all at once. Get it out and make it a lot shorter. But for me, it would be 4 days and it would be 1 day is this, 1 day is this. I was able to get through most of the show without, I've coughed a couple times, but now here we go. Though we're at the end of the show, so it's not too bad. So does it stick with you for a long time? Can you shake it after, 1 or 2 days, 3 days? And what do? Do you just pump yourself full of vitamins and juice and, whatever? Do you do that whole like chicken soup kind of thing to get? Do you believe any of those things actually even work? Send me an email, live, live, at jbonair.com, live at jbonair.com. It's, yeah. I mean, if we got sick regularly in our house, then this wouldn't be anything, to really talk about. But because we just don't get sick. This is like, wow, it's kind of thrown our house for a loop. And again, it's a funny situation because anybody who has kids, I mean, you have sickness in your house how many times a year, right? Because the kids are getting sick at school, they bring it home, you take it to work, you get it from work, you bring it home, and it's a cycle. I remember that being at my parents' house where it's like, my parents were smokers, so they were constantly getting sick. But my dad, I mean, it seemed like he was sick every other week. I mean, it was just terrible. And so you knew that you were eventually going to get sick because we're all in the same house and we're going to pass it around to each other. So this is maybe the good thing about us, my husband and I, living very sheltered and antisocial lives now. Right? This is maybe, people make fun of us and go, oh my God, you guys don't even go out or do anything? Well, here's the thing. We don't get sick, and we are very healthy people. Anyway, live at jbonair.com is the email address, live at jbonair.com. We're out of time, so I will say goodbye to you for now. Hopefully I will be less coffee and more healthy and energetic and lively and bubbly on our show next week. My name is Jeremy Bradley. This is The Scribble. Thank you so much for listening. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real